So my name is Arthur Petropoulos. I'm the managing partner here at Hillview Partners. We're a middle market, lower middle market investment banking firm. We help companies sell themselves. We help companies find capital. Typically, we're working with companies generating $1 to $10 million in pre-tax earnings or EBITDA in achieving any of these objectives. We really work across industries, across the United States, as well as to somewhat of a lesser degree internationally, with a lot of different interesting companies doing interesting things, trying to get to the next level of whether it's business or life in accomplishing these goals. Why historically have we used cold outreach? It's just, we find it to be a pivotal piece of marketing a business. We always say marketing is effective. It's just a matter of how effective. So if you stood on the roof of your house and said, I sell this service or product, like someone would hear you. It might take 10 years, but if you can get the message directly to the addressable audience for what it is that you provide or service you undertake, then it's going to have a much better iteration rate and pull-through rate. And you want to be diplomatic, polite, approachable, but effective at doing that. And so cold outreach has always been a part of our business, particularly that we operate fairly nationally and internationally, and you're not going to just be kind of traveling the world, knocking on doors. How do you reach out to people in many ways, a cyber sense, if you will, while still creating that level of rapport, warmth, and connection, and it takes some nuance and touch to do it. What was the magnet for us to work with AICO? Look, I knew personally Tom prior to our working together, and met Garik, and two guys in an organization that had new ideas and new ways of cracking the peanut, if you will, and some neat ideas of how to make it more customized, how to make it more targeted, yet at the same time to make it scalable. And so anytime we're talking about marketing, when we can combine size and volume and iterations with the ability to craft, to target, and to be personable and to be intelligent with the outreach, that's fascinating to us, and that's what we want to learn about. And so it was always historically a bit of a trade-off of, do you want targeted, do you want personalized, and do you want to have more of a nuanced conversation, or do you want to do lots of it? And I think instead of saying I'd really like the really nice steak dinner or the all you can eat buffet, what if you could do both? And I think that's what was compelling to us and why we wanted to start the dialogue and why we continue to do more and more work together. What was unexpected in our work with AICO? Really, it was the generation of ideas. When you think of kind of the different layers of working with people, you're going to have some people you work with that don't come up with ideas and can't execute your ideas. And that's not necessarily good. And then you say those that are very good can execute your ideas extremely well, where you say, okay, I have an idea, let's do A, B, and C, and they can go out there and do that. But the real rare commodity is in business, and that's what we like to be to our clients as well, is not just someone who says, okay, you would like to go from A to B, let's get you from A to B, but says, maybe there's a better way to get from A to B. Maybe you don't even really want to get to B and you want to get to C. Like, how do you paint the universe of prospective outcomes for a situation? How do you helping us determine which one of those is best, and then kind of backing into the path to do that? What have we seen in terms of results in working with AICO has, I think from a very quantitative kind of most tangible standpoint, just in terms of booked calls on a comparable duration of time, have effectively doubled from other means of which we've used for direct email outreach in particular. That's one element of it. And then it also, when you kind of pull through that a little bit, there's a qualitative considerations, because if you think of our business and selling businesses or finding businesses capital, it's a longer sales cycle. I mean, you have to build a rapport, you have to build trust, and obviously there's some testament to how wonderful we are at what we do. But at the same time, finding the right types of people that align well is not an easy task and takes a touch. And so while we can say, yes, definitively, booked calls have doubled in the similar timeframes of which we're measuring, at the same time also we look at kind of our tiered funnel, if you will, from taking prospective people that are interested in selling the company to those that trust in us to sell their business. That has meaningfully piled up, which again I think is a testament to both tactical approach as well as kind of qualitatively understanding the problems we solve for clients, those that are well positioned for us to help, and kind of lining all of that up, right? It has to be the right message to the right audience in the right process. And really, it's kind of a chain that if you're missing one of those links, you're not going to pull anything forward. And so this has been a good combination of all of these things. And so from the very kind of visceral, tangible, we can say, doubled the inbound calls, and from more kind of qualitative, broader, longer looking situation, we could say the funnel has really effectively more than doubled once we start baking in kind of pull-through rates and conversion rates of different elements as well.